This is what I've done so far in Arizona. I've watched an absolute awful Phillies game, right, in front of, like, the most sterile environment ballpark ever. You know, I mean, you can't track the ball because there's no sky or anything like that. And then the worst part was it just was boring, you know. And my buddy says to me last night, do you notice how quiet everything is? I said, yeah, what's the deal with that? He says, the old people complain, you know. And then you look around and there's just pockets of, you know, there's a Cubs fan and there's a Yankees fan. I mean, there's no true fans in Phoenix is my assertion, is the way I would put it. But it was a terrible baseball game last night. And then
were you there for the Michael Franco bomb to center?
That was awesome. That was probably the nicest thing I saw all night because it almost took the guy's head off in the camera well. I mean, and that is, look, it's a launching pad to go from one ballpark, Petco, which was so hard for them to hit the ball out, and yet somehow the Phillies did have 4 solo home runs in that great first win that we saw, to then this ballpark where it looks like, you know, you, me, and PG could play home run derby. You know, I mean, it was like, yo, and you know that I suck. I mean, you guys are athletes, but I'm just saying.
Well, I know that, so Arizona has not got off to a great start, right?
No, and then today it's raining. So, I mean, this is like, I'm like Eddie the Mush, you know. I mean, it doesn't rain here, you know, and of course it looks like apocalypse now. I mean, the sky is all kinds of colors and palm trees or yucca trees or whatever they call them are bending over halfway. You know, it's oof. You know, what did I do? Well, this might not have been a good diversion. I will say that my lovely aunt has made me some nice meals so far, so that's not a bad deal, and it's rent free. You know, the hotel is $0.
$0 for the PT. He likes that. You were in San Diego. It seemed like you were bumping into people at all times out there. I mean, you were running into the who's of the East Coast out there in San Diego.
Well, that worked out real well. You know, I mean, remember years ago they used to print the name of the hotels where the Phillies stayed on the road, and then they stopped doing that the last couple of years. But we picked our hotel based on 2 reasons. One, there was a walking bridge, so I won't say the name, but there's a walking bridge connected from the hotel to the ballpark, and I believe that's the only situation like that in Major League Baseball. At least that's what the hotel staff told me. So we saw the Phillies come in on Thursday night. We were there Wednesday night and then Thursday night. And as we were headed out to dinner, the guy, one of the bellmen said, like, hey, you guys might want to hang back here for a second, you know. And Susan says, like, huh, what? You know, and I said, look, just act like you've been here before. And son of a gun, if they don't all come in their business suits and their, you know, iPhones or devices and their earbuds are in, and you know, you could tell, like, this is the life of major leaguers, right? Left hand, they've got their itinerary and like their room number and probably their key. Right hand, they have their phone. Eyes barely look up, you know. But it was cool for Susan and me to see, you know, Howard made the trip, was there, and Utley made the trip. That was developing because, you know, I didn't know that at the time, and obviously I ran into Andy McPhail the next morning on the way to breakfast, so that was fun. I hadn't met him before, and you know, things like that. Yeah, when you stay at the team hotel, you could actually stay at the same hotel as your favorite sports team and never see any of the players. I mean, they really do a good job of security-wise giving them a chance to never have to run into autograph hounds. But, you know, I wasn't asking for autographs, just selfies.
Yeah, you were getting selfies with everybody. I saw you bump into Murph out there, Greg Murphy from the Phillies broadcast team as well.
Greg Murphy was there. My CSN colleague Ben Davis was there. You know, I really had a nice visit with John DeSangro, who's a Temple grad and used to be John Chaney's right-hand man. That was fun. And then there was pictures that, you know, I'm not very good at selfies, so I had a really good conversation with Darren Ruff about Creighton and Creighton baseball and his time at Omaha, and I tried to take a selfie, and it looks like Jabba the Hutt meets, you know, tired morning guy on his way. It just was terrible. So I would never post that. But I mean, San Diego to visit, top 3 city to visit. I mean, 77 and sunny every single day. What a great city.
Yeah, I know. I have not been out there. I know everybody who goes there raves about the weather and wonders how not everybody has moved there, but I know it's a pretty pricey place to live if you're there, you know, for the duration of the year.
Well, you don't want to pay $11 for a hamburger, and by the way, there's only one place you can find that. I mean, you know, if you are a healthy eater, or if you are a more of a, explorative eater, yeah, that would be fine. But I mean, we had a real hard time. Well, I ate a lot of eggs. You know what I mean? Nobody could screw up eggs, and that's on the PT diet. So, I was pretty consistent 5 for 5 at a local breakfast place. But after you got past that, I mean, you had to ask for water because there's a shortage going on. So they're not going to bring you. Then sometimes it's sparkling. A lot of fish places. I'm not the seafood guy, right? And then again, we went one place after the game, and we just wanted a light beer, like AKA, give me a bottle of blank light, right? Well, there, the girl says, "Oh, well, you can try our 1903." I don't want to try your craft beer, GD. I want a beer. Just give me a beer in a bottle. Sorry, we're not beer in a bottle. All right, give me a draft. Oh yeah, here's this 1903.
Yeah. Well, it's a little different world out there. So how many more?
Get over the difference of those parks too. I mean, Petco felt like, even though the Padres aren't that great, Friday night was a fun game and the fans were into it. Nola pitched decent after the shaky start, and of course they hit 4 solo bombs and they win in extra innings. The Saturday game was a lot of fun because A, it was a sellout. B, I saw Benito Santiago in the hotel lobby.
Now there's a name for you.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was him until later. I came back from a walk, and I'd had a few Shastas, right? So I wasn't very sober. And so I was like, oh, there's a nice dressed Latin man, right? And then about 2 hours later, I'm in my seats going, oh, wait, that was Benito Santiago.
Oh, so it hit you after the fact.
Yeah. So, well, that happens sometimes with me. I'm a little slow on the uptake. But they honored him and Gary Templeton. Again, a Phillies win, nice night. And then, the Sunday game in San Diego was fun, too, because who would have thought they would have been able to sweep? Not so much fun last night it was like the Bugs Bunny. Bump, 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 bump. I mean, what'd they have? 2 triples, 2 doubles, and a partridge in a pear tree, a couple home runs. Jeez.
All right, a couple of things. By the way, Arizona, right? You should. We would all love to see the PT cannonball into that pool out there.
Oh yeah. Well, my aunt has a pool here, but I think if I tried the cannonball, I would break the little. She has an old diving board. She has a sliding board, like the slide that the kids would go down, and that would be funny because I'd probably get stuck halfway down and just be like,
like Bernie Brewer. Here comes the PT right down the Chase Field pool. Splash.
I told Murph that he has to do the Bernie Brewer slide because if L.A. did it years ago, then he has to do it. And he said, and he kind of looked at me like, "Yeah, there's no effing way I'm doing that." Like, oh yeah, well, I should do that. So I mean, he listened, but I don't know that that'll happen. So
yeah. All right. I don't know if you saw this story. I know when you're on vacation, you kind of separate yourself, but Jets quarterback Geno Smith got punched in the jaw in a fight. And I guess I would ask you the question, PT. Have you ever wanted to punch a coworker in the face, and who was that guy?
Punch a coworker in the face.
The guy walked up to Geno Smith and just punched him in the jaw.
Popped him.
There's a lot of speculation that it could have been over some a debt that Geno Smith owed, but take a slug at somebody. Didn't they just cut a guy from the Niners because he wrecked somebody's car? I mean, we've got some real model citizens right now during training camp, right? Yeah. Well, this guy apparently walked right up to him, no conversation, just decked him right in the face.
Yeah, out of respect to the previous a-holes that I worked with, I won't say who I wanted to punch, but I will say that it's nobody in the Town Square family, and I'm just fine with you and PG. So it's not either of you two. So.
Well, PT, when are you heading back from Arizona?
We leave tomorrow, and in this day and age of travel, it's like a 3:00 leave here. We fly to Atlanta, then we sit there for a couple hours. We don't get into Philly until after midnight, technically Thursday night. Mm-hmm. So we're pulling a little switcheroo where we're going to stay overnight in Philly. We're going to sleep for 4 or 5 hours in Philly, get back up, and we're going to go to Billy Joel at Citizens Bank Park, and then we'll stay in that same hotel one more time.
This guy's living the life of Riley out here. My Lord.
This is a really nice trip. And then it all ends, right? It's that line from Goodfellas, and now it's all over. But
yeah, well, I'm out next week, so maybe we can hit the links a couple times.
Let's do it. You know the number. Let's do it. Bring Pete G along. He can caddy for us. And Cole.
Pete G's caddying.
Right there.
He's caddying for me next week. He's in for me next week.
Oh, well, then we'll just listen from afar and heckle him without him knowing it.
Yes. All right, man. Well, safe flight back. Enjoy the last game tonight. And, bring us some luck. You brought some luck in San Diego. You got to bring that luck over to Arizona.
We're going to fire it back up again tonight. Buchanan's going to get it done for us, right?
David Buchanan.
That didn't even sound good coming out of my lips. I know. I couldn't even sell that. Ugh. All right, pal. Thanks for having me on, and we'll talk soon.
It's our Tuesday with Thompson, with Pete Thompson here on the Sports Bench. Live inside the Mercedes-Benz of Atlantic City Studios. I'm Mike Gill. Our Tuesday with Thompson each and every week at 4:30 on the Sports Bench. This hour brought to you by Vic Sub Shop, 742 Ohio Avenue in Absecon.